Hi, I'm David.
I am Jelena.
Welcome to our tutorial on Laghuvajrasana, which means
Little Thunderbolt.
okay. And this pose happens in
Intermediate series.
Yep. And it's one of the backbends that we do. But we have so much to tell you about it. Before we do that, we need to tell you this.
Make sure to subscribe, comment, and like our videos.
Please.
It will encourage us to keep going.
Yeah, otherwise we might just stop. This might be the last one. It all rests on you right now.
So this is quite a challenging pose, and it's interesting because it doesn't look difficult at all. Once you see someone in the room doing it, you're like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. I can just do it. And for, I would say, overwhelming majority of people, you then are proven wrong. It's a very, very difficult pose. And sometimes people get stuck on this pose for years.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I know we've had a student or two come through this year. I wouldn't say most people don't, right?
No, I didn't say most. I said sometimes.
Yeah, just the odd person.
But most people do find it difficult.
Absolutely, yeah.
When learning it and the first...
It's an unpleasant surprise.
Yeah. But for me, it was super easy. I got it on the first day, and I think it's because I showed up to the practice as a former dancer and my legs were really strong. And so I've seen this also with some of the people that were runners that were able to do this pose on the first try, because it requires so much strength in your legs that you are really shocked by it, I find.
In the bragging?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, it's one of those like strong leg backbend poses, which we're all for because backbends are all about legs. Should we do the vinyasa? Yeah. And then... Okay, so we go from downward dog, sapta, inhale, jump into the prep position, which is knees hip width apart, feet directly behind, holding your waist. And then exhale here. And here's a vinyasa with 2 breaths. So you go Ashtanga, inhale, and then exhale, go back, catch just around your ankles, just above the ankles, keep the arms straight, and bring your head down to the floor. Nasagraya Drishti, stay to the asana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nava, inhale, come back up into your prep position. Hands on the waist, exhale there. Dasha, inhale, hands down, up. Ekadasha, exhale, Chitwari. Dwadasha, inhale. Trayodasha, exhale. Good.
You say that like you're surprised.
It was very good. I mean, you built up a lot of expectation with the bragging, but you lived up to it.
I lived up to it, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's not... it is a lot of flexibility. But where it shows up for us in terms of the sequence is like after the primary series and into intermediate. So you've built up a lot of flexibility at that point. You've been working on it a long time. So it's not a posture that's necessarily about deepening your flexibility. It's really about strength.
It's purely strength, and purely strength in your legs, really. Because the pose that you do before that, Ustrasana, you don't do any deeper of a backbend in Laghu than you've done in Ustrasana, right? It's the same. You're reaching back and catching your ankles. But now there's that movement of lowering, which tests.
Closing the angle between the shin and the thigh, and then coming back up again.
Yeah.
In calisthenics, I guess, it's like a Nordic. Yeah.
And so in this pose, again, intermediate, basically every pose is this, what we talked before to you about, the gatekeeper or the safety stop. So here too, you have to be able to do this fully on your own, unassisted, before you would move on to the next pose, which is Kapotasana, and I don't know if you necessarily want that pose. So sometimes it's nice to stay here.
At this point, if you've been practicing all these years to get here, you've drunk the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you're all in.
Yeah. So I would say even actually if you're really flexible, this is going to be harder. Yeah, because the more sort of naturally connected or like the more connected you are in a resting state, the easier this is going to be.
Right.
And I would say flexible people have to work a lot harder at connecting.
Because they're flexible, because there's softness, especially in the front line of the body. So doing all of this stuff that comes easier to you if you're that person is also what's going to be your weakness in this case, because that softness isn't going to be necessarily a connection that's going to bring you back up.
Yeah, I'd say literally your weakness.
Yeah.
Maybe it has to do with the length. I wonder, because like the strength that we're talking about, connection is contraction and stability. And I wonder too, because some people are just naturally more open, the front line, like the deep backbenders, if they're just longer, you know what I mean? So even when they connect, it's still not short enough.
Well, that's another thing that we've seen teaching this pose is that if you're something more similar to our body type, and especially like shorter limbs, this pose is a little bit easier for you because you stay more connected to your center of balance as you move. But people that are on a taller side and kind of longer limbs, as they fold or they go down, they're kind of like almost being spread out. Yeah. And so it becomes a bit more challenging. And there's a tip for people like that, where you move your hands and you position them a little bit differently than what I would do or what David does.
Yeah, so the traditional sort of cueing is when you go back, you keep your arms straight and you catch just above the ankle, so below the calf muscle. And then because the arms are straight, that's going to dictate how far back you come, right, with the head. You can change it a little bit with the extension of the spine, but the arms are going to fix your distance pretty much. If you're tall, then
which I'm not.
You're going to get so far back in that position that it might be very difficult to come up, like too long. And so then you would move your hands up the
I can't
calves.
even, because I'm short, I can't even demonstrate for you.
Got short arms,
and I got short arms, but if you're a tall person, you can put your hands here. I have to go into a back bend.
Just go to your knees. You have to deepen your back bend. Right?
And then...
Which is kind of the point, right? Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Can't you go to the knees? You can go to the knees.
Well, no, I have to go again. Some people with longer limbs, they can just reach down and their hands are right there, but not for me. I have to
Yeah, you got it.
No.
That's it.
Yeah, there.
No, you got to go all the way down.
Barely.
Yeah. So you're supposed to go down, put your head on the floor, keep your arms straight. Your head has to touch the floor. Take 5 breaths and then come back up. So coming down can be hard. It can be hard to come down with control, but coming up is usually where you run into the most problems. Because, one thing that happens is that whenever you're given an alternative, an easier alternative, you'll kind of reflexively take that, right? Automatically take it. So once your head comes onto the floor, you have an alternative to the support of the legs. Now you get to rest some of the weight on the head. And so to come back up, you're going to have to find that support back in the legs. If you've collapsed back too far this way, that's going to be very hard. So one of the things that we sometimes do is try to deepen the bend before we come up. So we'll slide the head forward towards the feet. You can see how Jelena deepens the back bend and then starts to come back up. Also, the way that we do it is with the wrists on the outside of the feet. And then Jelena is using the pressure of her arms to help lift up as well, right? Oh, you have it on the inside? Oh, let's see. I guess you can use your arms in either position, outside or inside. Do you feel like you're pushing down with your hands when you do this?
Yeah. So this is what David was talking about. When I go down...
Oh, yeah, here's your inside.
My arms stay on the inside. You can see my wrist. But this is the other way to do it, which I don't do.
Yeah, when I do it, then I would come back here and keep the hands outside. Come down.
I honestly think it has something to do with the length of my arms, and it helps me stay more connected.
This pose, maybe the length of your arms helps you.
Maybe.
Look at, do that again. Yeah.
Or I have...
He's got short arms.
I got short arms. But the point is, we just came back from Mysore, and I do it this way, and both ways are allowed.
Both, definitely. Doesn't make a difference inside or outside. Yeah. As long as you can, I think, use your arms to help you come up.
Yeah.
Like by keeping them straight, it feels like when I push into the feet, my arms kind of act as a wedge and help me come up. I see people bend the elbows and then they lose it.
Bend the elbows or let go of the grip. And if you let go of the grip, then you actually let go of the support in your arms. So the arms are actually spinning in. They're an internal rotation because they're below your shoulders. So you want to make sure when you bring your hands back that you are not locking your arms. Do you see what we mean by locking the arms? See that the eye of the elbow is pointing up and David's shoulders are doing this. We don't want that. We want to go the other way. So you're spinning the arms slightly in. They're still straight, but that will also create a different shape in your shoulders, and that allows you to find a lot of connection between your arms and the legs and allows you to have more support coming back up.
Yeah.
So spinning in and then shoulders back.
Yeah, I would say it's interesting too though, because part of the connection is being able to connect your upper body to the strength of your legs. And so we know this, when your arms externally rotate, your ribs flare.
Yeah.
When you internally rotate, when the arms are in extension, then you contain, you connect.
Like
and
this.
So just the positioning of the arms kind of leads you back to your core connection.
Mm-hmm. And then don't let go of the grip, like really hold on to it as you go down. And then make sure that as you're lowering, that you're not actually pointing your toes, but it's the other way. You're pushing down because that movement helps you connect to the top of your legs, to both your quads and your hamstring as you're lowering. So here, and then this, push down as you're going to lower. There, I'm coming back up.
It's kind of a fun pose. When you're learning it, your thighs will hurt. You'll get like muscle pain. It's like if you go to the gym and do squats or something, like you're walking up the stairs will be.
I remember that, even though I just was able to do the pose.
Yeah, you feel it.
The following day, as I walked up and down the stairs, my legs were on fire, like I ran or something, which was really funny.
Yeah. It lasts a few weeks, and then you've leveled up in leg strength.
And if you're working on it at home on your own, you have an option where you lower down as much as you can and you maintain control and then you come back up. And so that could be your first try. Then your second try could be to lower all the way down and then just try your best to come back up. Often you'll get stuck. And then also start working on that as you lower down, the idea of sliding your head towards your toes to increase that arch and then see if you can come back up.
To decrease the distance between your knees and your head.
Yeah. And so that's what we do with our students here too, that they would try first 2 times on their own, and then the third time we would help and do the whole movement.
If you can't do it yourself, remember, you can always come visit us here in Toronto or come see us somewhere around the world.
All right.
Okay. Thanks so much for joining.
Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah, let us know. Bye.
Bye.